PlayStation 4 has officially been out in the wild for a year now, and it's been steadily growing. The interface has been smoothed a bit and improved in overall performance, and a plentiful array of third-party games and media partners continues to expand. Yet at the same time, there are still some issues, such as service problems, underutilized hardware, and the never-ending search for that one magical system-selling game. Here's our take of where the system stands now. The PlayStation 4 is an attractive system with a sleek, modern appearance. 2 USB 3 ports are found on the front, while the back offers an HDMI out, SPDIF for surround sound audio, a gigabit Ethernet port, and a proprietary jack for the PlayStation camera. The only real problem with the PS4's form factor is how its trapezoid shape creates an angled back that can make seeing and accessing its ports difficult. If you need to check or change a plug, the whole thing basically has to come off the shelf so you can get at what you need. Under the hood lie a 1.6 GHz AMD APU composed of 2 quad-core modules and 8 GB of GDDR5 memory. There's also a 500 GB hard drive that's upgradable using off-the-shelf parts. And capping off the list is 802.11a, B, G, and Wi-Fi, which while not cutting edge, should still feel fast if you're on an average broadband connection. The PS4's operating system focuses on content and social interaction. And Sony has smartly reduced the endless horizontal scroll of the games and app bar, which makes finding your most recent content much easier. Getting in and out of content is remarkably fast. The system boots up from a cold start or standby in just under 30 seconds, and you can swap in and out of apps with a minimum of fuss. Games also load impressively quickly, and you can immediately pause the action to go to the dashboard, start watching a stream on Twitch, or just check the status of your other downloads. The primary issue with the PlayStation infrastructure comes from the sometimes spotty status of PSN. That wasn't a particularly grating problem when it was free, but now that it's behind a $50 subscription fee, I kind of expect a little more reliability. The same is true of the firmware updates, which have caused problems for users of the service. Thankfully, Sony has been relatively quick to respond to outages and bugs. Of all the new tweaks and changes in this current generation of PlayStation consoles, the PS4's redesigned controller is my favorite part. As someone who disliked every prior iteration of the DualShock, I found this more ergonomic, convenient design very easy to adapt to. The DualShock 4 also adds new functionality. Most notably, you can plug in a standard set of 3.5mm headphones right into the base of the controller to access in-game audio and chat. And while you don't get the surround sound processing, the audio quality here is still surprisingly good. You'll likely interact less with the other new features, like the controller's touchpad and speaker. At this point in time, the touchpad's been relegated, for the most part, just to simple text entry, and the speaker still hasn't been used for anything particularly noteworthy. As for battery life, you'll drain the controller's battery over the course of a day of dedicated play, meaning you're either stuck buying a second controller or just playing no farther than your charging cable allows. In the ecosystem just beyond the console, the PlayStation 4 can utilize both the PlayStation camera as well as connect remotely to the PlayStation Vita. Right now the camera is most useful for picture-in-picture for Twitch or Ustream, or for instantly changing profiles, and it also has a limited series of voice commands to do things like start games or navigate the menus. But despite these useful functions, the camera feels like an afterthought. Sony's Playroom is essentially a rough tech demo, and there just aren't any video conferencing options here. PS Vita owners have a little more to celebrate here. The Vita can be used for remote play of PS4 games, which is great, but not as lag-free as I'd like to see. Sharing gameplay experiences is seamless and quick. It's as easy as tapping the share button on the DualShock 4 to save a screenshot or a video clip, or to broadcast live over Twitch or Ustream. The ability to see comments on screen in real time makes interaction with viewers simple and fun. Sadly, we weren't able to get that clip for the video review because, surprise surprise, PSN is down. There's also a picture-in-picture view with the PlayStation camera, and that adds a nice personal touch. There are a few disappointing limitations though, as of firmware version 2.01. You can only use generic presets when it comes to setting compression levels and resolutions, and there's still no ability to archive your broadcasts. Now, if you want to show off your achievements without streaming, you can also upload saved gameplay clips to YouTube, as well as transfer clips and screenshots to a USB storage device. Performance is mixed for the YouTube experience though, as I had a few spotty uploads and errors here and there. In contrast, the USB uploads to the system are very convenient and very fast. And if you want to share your gameplay session with a friend or family member who's physically elsewhere, PlayStation 4 supports a share play feature. Through it, you can hand control of your game over to anyone on your friends list, or invite any of them to participate in co-op online for a game that otherwise offers only local multiplayer. Succinctly put, the PlayStation 4 is impressive. The base hardware provides a satisfyingly powerful platform and features Sony's most ergonomic controller yet. The PlayStation interface is fast and uncomplicated and grants access to the content you want with a minimum of hassle. The catalog of games may not contain any huge system sellers, but the PS4 versions of this year's games look and play very, very well. What keeps the PlayStation 4 from being mind-blowing, though, is that it seems to be struggling to provide games that deliver the next-gen feel. And most everything a gamer upgrading from the previous generation could want or has come to expect is here, but there are only a couple of truly cool new features beyond that. Just share play and streaming, for example, and some media restrictions drag down the overall experience. The PlayStation 4 system is still very young. Developers could still throw their support into drawing out the key features of the camera or the controllers, and given the updates this machine has gotten since launch, it's safe to say more are yet to come. Given what Sony's delivered so far, it seems extremely likely that the PlayStation 4 will expand with gamers in just the ways they want. For all the latest on PlayStation games and hardware, you're already where you need to be. IGN.com.